Greetings, this is Classic Games Redefined. My name's Rich, and we're doing another Why That video. This is kind of commentary, part rant, part rally the troops, not quite bulleted point. It's not also meant to be negative. It can be seen possibly as negative, but it's meant to give you hope, to help you feel like you're going to get control. I'm not doing a specific game here. I'm just looking at what is the genre known as AAA video games. There's been a bunch going on. A lot of discontented players. And if you're one of these people, you're wondering what to do here. I am a little bit disappointed by the psychology of what's happening with people. Not disappointed in you, the fact that you end up getting subjected to this. So this is different than usual. It's more of a plea to sanity, everything else here, and I just want to get it up here. I'm also not asking you at this point to give up AAA video games. You like them, that's fine. It's not the focus of this channel. I'm mostly going to say not AAA. I look for alternatives. I'm also looking for games that, besides being classics and stuff and all that, will be updated in the appeal. What you have to the left-hand side are the big three companies. When you think of AAA publishers, that's what you do. That's why they're listed there. A particular reason. Maybe it's symmetry. Maybe move the EA logo to the left up a little bit with Electronic Arts and stuff. You have Activision. This is just stuff I pulled off the internet, figured logos and to discuss them. But this is a plea here. I'm also going to discuss a little bit of alternatives of why you would benefit from not being a AAA junkie. Also, by the way, PS4 and XBOX One are the primary platforms. Nintendo doesn't really get any third-party AAA anymore. They don't get third-party anything and stuff, so they're a little bit different. And I don't include PCs, because a lot of the PC stuff tends to be downloaded, tends to be small publishers, and do it that way. Steam OS, you'll have some stuff here. You'll get crossover, in which case it's usually covered by the top three. That's where they're not there. This is not a PC master race, give up your console either. It's just pretty much looking at that, for asking you to have a little bit of sanity here. There's an issue here. This is, again, looking for alternatives. One thing about being a player is you're in control. Players are in control here. You as a player, that's the point of playing. Not watching something passively, but you being in control, your skill being tested. You're engaged and immersed by interactivity, by you making decisions. You win, you lose, you overcome, you beat this. By your skill, by your knowledge, by your research, by your social connections with other people. You do this. You make choices, you win. The problem with the AAA industry, as I see it, and why you need to move away, is they, in the sense of the way markets run, from the consoles down here to everything else, is to box you in. You end up getting turned into a fanboy. You become dependent on these publishers to put out what you like. I mean, to put out stuff and get you to like it. You know, so they'll go licenses and stuff and do this here, and you're trapped on the platforms onto the AAA. You're seduced by the production value, and mind you, it's great to have high production value stuff here. But when this becomes what seduces you, to limited choices, to paying $60 plus and probably push up to $200 plus with the DLC, you put yourself, because you don't have a choice. You're boxed in because you're a AAA player. You're into AAA only, and you don't want to put up with the low quality stuff here. You want to settle for that which is normal in production and feel like a movie and everything else. So they'll feed you the order and expect you to like it. Do this. And as a matter of fact, your platform depends on it. So you'll end up trumpeting this thing, or look at the graphics and everything else. You know, players, this is a game, you don't put up with this nonsense. You get a cheat code, you do something, you win. You don't put up with this nonsense. Why put up with the nonsense here? Why make yourself a dependent pawn? Don't put up with it. Don't be a slave to this industry. Don't be a slave to a single platform. And I know you might be something else here. And I'm not saying not to own even a single platform. You go ahead and do it. You know, look for alternatives. Broaden your world a bit. That's the core thing about why alternatives AAA. Broaden the world a bit. And the reason why you'd want to do this is that the only choice, the only control you have as a consumer, You can talk about Project Rainfall to tell Nintendo to put out content. If you want to organize to do stuff here and get additional content, you can. Your only choice as a consumer here, and this is one thing that's a little problem, is to walk. So if you don't have alternatives, and I'll describe some alternatives that you can do coming up here. If you don't have alternatives, they're going to keep feeding you the same thing, and they're going to push back. You can also let them know with your vote, like they did with the Xbox One, turning around and becoming the 180 with the DRM and all that. You get to walk. You let them know you're going to walk. You put up with, and you have to legitimately move on. You have to stop being so dependent, which is the irony. A consumer, that's an irony. Consumer means that you're somebody who's fed and you consume content. A player, you're in control. Be in control. Consider alternatives here. And there are a lot of other alternatives. Broaden your world. Don't just be a one-title person on this thing console. Mind you, if you have a life here, and you like Call of Duty, that's fine. But, but there are other alternatives. You can go out and do some paintball, for example. I show playing of tabletop games. I also show stuff you can play for free. It doesn't have to checkerboard, play lines of action, or something else. I know that may not be your thing. You can get into retro video games, too. Do that there. That's going to work. That's another thing, too. Let me talk about the rant here a little bit of why to consider alternative AAA. Look at the way AAA is heading. They're making you rebuy the remastered version of the game that you owned prior. It's got better graphics. You know what they're going to want to do to you? Every generation make your content not work, and then you rebuy it again. With updated graphics or a few new features. Go retro. Go pick up an old school cartridge. Pick up a Retron 5. Whatever. You understand what I'm saying here. Go get that. Play old school stuff. Retro here. Just check stuff out. Go to the Internet Archives. Look for some stuff there. You have that there. Tabletop games. Board games. Card games. I buy a board game, card game. I had the piece. As long as I had the pieces, it'll work 20, 30 years from now. And the graphics, I can put card protectors, protect the thing. But I have good graphics. Go on BoardGameGeek.com. Go look at that. You want a little bit more adventure? Go read a book or something. Don't go watch a series. Go watch Game of Thrones. Go to the library, check it out or something. You want to do that? Or heck, I got a really good idea for you here. Why don't you go into pen and paper RPGs or live action RPGs? You want to do adventure. You want to socialize more? Go meet somebody for dinner. There are plenty of other alternatives besides. You don't have to put up with this stuff here. You don't have to put up with garbage. Just be open to it. I understand the one thing is you love the high production value and the high quality graphics. Indie games, for example, you're not going to get the same level, but a small developer, support them and everything else. Boot up your old classics. Get hold of Minecraft or something. Some Minecraft mods, Other stuff here. Play online for free, everything else. Don't settle for this stuff here. There are plenty of alternatives out there. So, look for them. I just named a few. I was going to do a list here. I'm speaking off the cuff here, but honestly, you have plenty of other alternatives. Enjoy the AAA stuff here. But don't be so dependent upon it that you're complaining and you're all miserable now because the AAA hasn't come through outside of maybe Bloodborne. By the way, you may notice the lack of telling Nintendo. Nintendo's kind of over the map. They're kind of their own thing. That's why I don't really fit into this. You might want to consider Mario's AAA, but it doesn't have a budget of AAA. And that's usually what they do, is they have very small focus. That's another thing you have with this AAA stuff. It's done like movies. Large studios lack of vision, and the marketing team drives whatever it was. Lack of chances here. So that's the reason why. So if you want to put up with graphics that aren't as good or anything else, there is so much indie stuff out there. And, check my stuff, too. Stick it to the man. Go play a free game. I have plenty of them. I've created over 100. Go check out my videos. Do that. Feel free to comment below. But, enough is enough. There are alternatives to AAA video games. Enjoy them. Take out from every single thing here the good stuff and enjoy it. If you're a single person that wants to play stuff, that's fine. Go ahead. Don't put up with nonsense online either. With those dunderheads, for lack of whatever word you want to put in here. Troublemakers, anyhow. I'm going to clock out now. Settle. Just don't make yourself a slave. That's some alternatives. That's about all I can say. So, I do want to thank you for watching and listening. More like listening. I do want to thank you for listening. May your die always roll 5.